Let's talk a little bit about the subject of betrayal, which we see a fair bit of in this.
We do.
Or in these 3 episodes, on both sides, both Imperial and Rebellion. One particular one, I'm not sure what you thought about it, was Erskine, the assistant.
Yeah.
Mothma. I felt he was, I don't know, I would say not done a little dirty, but I felt a bit sorry for him. I felt like he was in sort of an unwinnable position once she'd found out.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Because, he says he was always acting in her interests. Luthen says he protected her in ways she could never understand.
Yeah.
But she takes it very badly. She just sacks him on the spot.
But you would do. I mean, you need, I guess in her position, she needs people around her she feels like she can trust, right? She must not know where to turn at the moment.
I guess, yeah, absolutely. And, there's going to be paranoia. And, we see that in the episode where she's not sure who to trust. But, for someone who's involved in some enormous traitorous activity herself, you think she'd maybe cut him a little bit of slack.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, and particularly, it's not like she's found out he's Imperial or anything.
Well, exactly.
He's basically been reporting back to the same person that she's reporting back to.
Yeah. Yeah, and her driver, who very much is an Imperial plant, she's like totally cool about that.
Wow. I did quite like that bit where she's like, I'm going to request a new driver. And Erskine, steady and reliable as he is, she went, I wouldn't. They might send someone who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do. And actually, I don't know that actor's name, but he's a British comedic actor, isn't he? You've seen him in things like the Catherine Tate Show and things.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He is good. I like him. He met a bit of a quick demise, didn't he?
He did as well, because I felt like he was about to not turn, but like when he was sat in the car on the speeder listening to her speech.
Yeah,
he had a little flicker of like, oh, maybe I'm on the wrong side. But
you thought maybe he was going to let them take his car or drive them somewhere. Yeah, not evil, but he just catches fire straight away, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Hello, and we see Cassian at his best.
Yeah.
Like, Erskine, look, we found her. We've had a bang.
Yeah, just insta killing people that are in his way.
Yeah,
that is Cassian all over, isn't it?
But not even, but so clinical about it as well. So clear. So just
I
know what I need to do, and I'm going to get it done. And
that shocks Mon Mothma, though, doesn't it?
It does shock Mon Mothma. But like, what did she think was going to happen when he said, "He's ISB"? Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, in that case, we'll just go with him, shall we?
That's fine. We can trust him.
Like,
no issues there.
You've already seen back there what I do to ISB agents.
Yeah, I've shot one on sight.
I've shot one, and I didn't even wait to find out who she was. I just knew she wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so the moment you tell me that your driver's an ISB agent, what do you think is going to happen there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just the way he plays the little game, and you think, oh, is he going to try and talk his way around it, or just knock the guy out unassuming? But no, it's just he starts a little thing, doesn't he, and then smash.
Dead. And in terms of balance of opinion, in terms of identifying things that I felt were, I'm not going to say sloppy. Sloppy's not the right word, but a little bit convenient.
Yeah.
That concourse outside the Senate, surprisingly little security for such a important building.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they can't get people there quick enough to stop her leaving.
That does seem unlikely, doesn't it?
Yeah, that just felt a little bit off. Although I know they kind of get around it where she's going out the top and they're all like going in the bottom.
Yeah,
like she's not using the main entrance and all that kind of stuff. But
I got some serious chills from seeing so much of the Science Museum.
Oh, Valencia was looking stunning.
It was. I mean, places that I'm sure we set foot on, like
staircases.
Yeah. Steps that I'm certain we laid feet on for sure. Little corridors, I was like, yes, we definitely walked on that.
Yes, didn't get to go in.
We're basically in Star
lifts.
Wars. Yeah,
didn't see them.
Yeah,
I don't know if were they real. Were they real, those diagonal lifts? But
I don't know. We took the stairs all the time because we're fit young bucks.
Exactly. We are athletic. Athletic things. Anyway, Betrayal. Back to Betrayal.
Back to the Betrayal.
And then obviously, I think we mentioned in the first part about poor Cyril and his.
Yeah, he felt very betrayed, didn't he? Poor guy.
But that had already. It was interesting that because we obviously we left the year 3 BBY. We're now 2 BBY.
Yes.
We should have mentioned that, really.
We should have done 2 BBY.
But we left that, and he was very much in the ascendancy, sort of emotionally.
Yeah.
Emotionally, he was very much in the ascendancy. Like, would it ruin everything if I said this was the best day of my life?
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been actually.
Right.
But
yeah, that'd be a weird thing.
But he was very much of that. And then we kind of cut to a year later, and you can see the toll that, even before he finds out for certain that this betrayal is taking place. It's not even a betrayal, just that what he's been told is not what's actually happening.
Yeah.
You can see that it's starting to take its toll on him already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he and he just doesn't get it, does he? Because she says, we've done it. Great rewards are coming to us, and he says, why? We haven't accomplished anything. What have we actually done? Yeah, quite. And he just lacks he can't see the wood for the trees, can he?
Well, we can't see the wood for the trees, but again, it comes back to that whole thing about he's despite the fact that ideologically he's perhaps opposed, if we put ourselves into that universe and that galaxy, ideologically opposed to us, he is a moral man. He's okay. He's okay telling lies to these rebels, and the Gorman Rebellion, because he thinks it's leading to their arrest and leading to the capture of more rebels.
Yeah,
he's okay with that. He's not okay with senselessly murdering hundreds, if not thousands, of people, so that you can get access to a mineral in the ground. That's a different thing. So he's like I say, ideologically questionable, but morally, his compass points north, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a really interesting story arc for him, really, especially. Yeah, season 1, he was very much set up as the antagonist. And I think it's very interesting what they've done with him in this season. And shame to see him go, actually. Would have been interested to see what would have become of him in the end game. But, I guess he felt like his redemption would have been killing Andor, and he was denied that. And that was the ultimate betrayal. Yeah.
And it is. And again, it comes back to his being a moral man. Like he's still in his head was like, Andor is a murderer and a thief.
Yeah.
And he deserves punishment for that.
Yeah, even in the middle of that immense chaos.
Yeah.
He still was striving for that. And actually earlier on they walked almost right past each other, didn't they? But they didn't spot each other.
Yeah, quite.
There was a kind of a little hint that maybe their time was coming.
But I'm not sure how we got onto that from the Senate and being outside.
Oh, just betrayal and stuff.
Betrayal, yes. And the fact that there's, a lack of security at the Senate. I'll tell you where there's not a lack of security. Yavin. Yavin has lots of people. But, I mean, young Will makes a very good point.
Yeah.
Right? How much are people being vetted when they turn up on Yavin?
Well, yeah, there could be anyone, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the deal with the let's have a look at everyone's guns and she spots one, and what was that about? I think you probably picked up on something there.
So the guy who pokes his head out and goes, "Hey, that's me." He's Scottish.
Who's that? Right. That's that
hey, one. Bastard, that's me. That put my
see you, Jimmy.
I think that's what I made. But yeah, he was a fellow inmate on Narkina 5, and he was the inmate that when they jump out and they swim. Yes, he and Cassian were the ones that got away together.
Oh, that was him.
And then they ended up. The party the holiday resort, basically, that Cassian had stored loads of stuff at.
Right,
he'd had an apartment there.
Yeah.
After the heist.
Yes.
At Aldani, which gets referenced in this. After that, they then go back there and they pick up loads of stuff. Now, I'm not 100% certain about this. But I think the pistol that she picks up or the blaster that she picks up, is one that Cassian had with him when they were at Aldani.
That's what it
took with him back to Thingy. And then when they went back from Narkina 5 back to the holiday resort, he gave him that blaster. I may be completely off the mark there. I've not researched that.
Well, it's way, way more context than I had.
But that's the connection I made.
Okay.
So she's looked at that and gone, oh, how have you got that? So which could lead to two different things. It could be she's instantly recognised it and thought, Cassian trusts him, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Or she's looked at it and gone, oh, you fucking got that then.
Yeah.
Which might lead to some very awkward conversations.
Some distrust.
Yeah, quite. So
yeah, interesting. I wonder if that'll be the end of that, or whether that'll be something that carries on into the last 3 episodes.
We'll see. Well, it's clearly, I mean, we've had a few familiar faces turn up. So it's him, whose character I'm afraid to say I don't know, and K2SO is now on the scene.
Well, that was a big question, wasn't it? How do these two meet? And we got the answer to that.
Yes.
K2SO tries to kill him.
Yes.
And gets run over.
Chopped in half.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why do you think Cassian was compelled to take this robot in? Is it an opportunist thing, or is there something more there?
Yeah,
you think it's just,
yeah,
we've downed one, we could take it away and maybe use it.
I've seen how good these things are in battle. Maybe having one on our side would be a good thing.
Yeah, okay. I just wonder maybe if there was anything more than that to it. Like I don't know what. It's weird to feel a sense of camaraderie to a killing machine.
Yeah.
But again, this is something that does annoy me. But every program or film with killing robots does this, is rather than efficiently killing people by getting hold of them and snapping their neck or something instant, it just lobs you around,
through the air.
Yeah, and granted, I'm sure it throws a few people through the air and they do die on impact. No issue there.
Or you might just break a few ribs.
Yeah, you're going to be incapacitated, I guess, but it's not, in terms of what a robot would consider an efficient way to kill someone. Yeah, it wouldn't be, I'll just launch you.
I quite like that bit where he kicks the barricade.
That was cool.
I say he. I mean, he's like...
It's sexless.
Yeah, they're robots. Where the robot kicks the barricade.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
That was pretty cool. I'll give it that. I like that. Environmental damage, we'd call that if that was a game.
Oh.
So, very, very good. Very good. I mean, they are intimidating things, aren't they? Those droids. But the blasters just do nothing to them.
Blasters do nothing, and they're almost kind of, as I said earlier, like, why'd you wait so long to get them out in the field? Like, I guess part of that's kind of almost the propaganda type thing, where if we just put these guys out, then it's just bullying.
It's going to look like we've gone heavy-handed, whereas we want it to look like, look, we left this as a last resort until it escalated to the point that we had to send the murder bots out.
Yeah, quite.
So, I think it is part of that. But it was, when they all come out, though, yes. Good times.
Yes.
Good times.
One thing we run into on Yavin as well, that obviously, force healing.
Yeah, I was going to mention
this. Other than Rey, have we met anyone else who does that?
Not in movies. I think it's often something that's it's definitely popped up in games, and I imagine probably in books as well. But not really, not since
on screen.
Not since the Rise of Skywalker have we seen it on screen properly.
Yeah, but to be fair, we don't. It's interesting, isn't it, because of Cassian's attitude towards it versus Bix. I mean, Bix is another character. Talking to characters that we won't see again. Yeah, and maybe we'll actually finish off what we're saying about Force Healers, and then we'll get back to Bix and her monologue at the end.
Bix.
But like the Force healing thing, it was an interesting take. I
didn't like it.
No,
that was the only thing that felt cheapish to me. Yeah. It was. I mean, part of the appeal of this show is we don't talk about Jedis, we don't talk about midichlorians, we don't talk about pod races or anything like that. Yeah. So bringing the Force in this sort of slightly not abstract, but minor plot point, just seeing churlish almost.
Basically, like taking up, like drawing the parallel with faith healers and things like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I did think about that, like obviously in the real world, I would be like, about faith healers, I'd just be like, get out of my fucking face.
It's just it's bullshit.
Take me to a doctor, please.
like Reiki, they call it. Like, let me just put my healing hands on you.
Whatever they do, I don't know.
Crystals.
Anyway, crystals. Get these crystals around you. Get some
crystal
healing.
Skull.
Get some healing stalactites or something or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, all that sort of stuff. I've got no time for it. But at least in this galaxy, I'm like, well, I know the Force is quote unquote a real thing, like within the context of this galaxy,
of course.
And I know that it maybe not healing to the extent that Rey would have demonstrated it in the Rise of Skywalker, but maybe a bit of positive energy into your muscles might help out. I
guess, I just wasn't sure what the point was of that scene.
But I think they allude to it in other areas, don't they, where they're talking about him, and this again comes back to Bix and Bix's belief and Bix's motivation for leaving as well. Is the recognition and the belief that there is something special about Cassian. He's not just another rebel. He's not just he has a role to play that is key and needs to be nurtured. Yeah,
everyone around him sees something in him that he doesn't see in himself.
Yeah, quite.
Luther, Bix, Force Hill Woman.
Yes. And now
that's because she calls him the messenger, doesn't she? That's the title of the episode. So they clearly felt that was important.
But anyway, Bix.
Yeah.
That her monologue got me because the whole thing she's saying about like, when this is all over, we'll do all the things we wanted to do. We don't, and all this knowing as the viewer, we're like, you're never going to see him again.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there was definitely. What do they call it? Like dramatic irony that we know stuff that the characters don't, so we know what their future holds.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a bittersweet moment. Yeah, knowing that he's going to go off and meet Jyn Erso, and they're going to die in each other's arms, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
Adria Horner is her name, the actress. And she did it brilliantly, I thought.
Yeah, excellently acted. Yeah, and interested in it was a kind of a talking to camera thing, almost like we were watching it through Cassian's eyes. Yeah, it was a bit of a fourth wall break for sure. Very much out of style for Star Wars.
She's put a lot of trust in the fact that he's a deep sleeper as well. Just sat in the next room recording that.
Yeah, just doing like a Zoom call.
If I did that overnight, my wife would just be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Wake up and walk in like all sleepy eyed. Like,
you'll understand in the morning. Go back to bed.
It's a dream. Woo! Yeah. Was that your suitcase? No, never mind that. Why are you dressed at 3 a.m?
Yeah, it's just I did my new pajamas. I've not shown you.
Yeah, but that was so we get her motivations was he's willing to give up everything for her, and she doesn't want him to. And the only way she can think of, she can't talk him round because she knows he'll always talk her out of it. So the only thing she can think to do is remove herself from the equation and give him no option but to stick around and achieve his potential with the rebels.
Yeah.
So it's a powerful move, and it answers like the question of how they're going to get rid of her before what comes next.
Quite. I'm very interested to see what happens to Bail Organa over the next 3 episodes, because I have to admit my first thought was we may not see him again, but then I remembered he's in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So he has to get to Yavin at some point.
He does, yeah. But then he ends up on Alderaan, I guess, doesn't he? Before does he? I think he dies on Alderaan when he gets blown
up. Hang on. So he is. Does he die on Alderaan? We don't know. We have no idea who's on Alderaan, right?
Well, but isn't Leia's message all about you must get this plans to my father on Alderaan? He'll know what to do with them.
No.
No.
You served my father during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought of it that way.
I presume they were going to. Well, who are they going to Alderaan to meet then? That's what I thought, they were going there to meet her father.
Are they going to Alderaan? I don't know. They're hovering over. They're hovering over Tatooine when they get shot down, or when they get captured.
What? No, they're in the ruins of Alderaan, aren't they?
Are they?
We're talking about the same thing here. In
Hang on.
episode 4, Han Solo.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, I get where you're going now. I get where you're going.
We're talking about different films.
I'm like, she's found Obi-Wan. They found Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No. I'm talking about the next because they go and get Han Solo and they're meant to go to see. I thought her father on Alderaan.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to watch this film. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's an obscure one. It was in the 70s. It's not that well known.
I don't. Can you still get an original copy? Is that
definitely not?
Oh,
no,
right, never mind.
You can only get a terrible
to the States and
ruined.
Oh no, it's not the States, is it? It's the
BFI, wasn't it?
BFI, yes, which you cannot get a ticket for. Yeah, no, I've caught up now. I'm with you.
Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Exactly. So, yeah, he may have died in that on Alderaan. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
not sure.
Or he may have been on Yavin. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know because he was on Yavin during Rogue One.
He was.
He was on Yavin during the mission. I guess that was to get the Death Star plans.
Yes,
which happened
before episode 4,
48 hours before the Death Star was destroyed.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows? We've opened up a can of worms here.
No, we have. Might have discovered some enormous plot holes here.
Either way, what on earth? What on earth? I just say I initially, because I mean he's gonna get a tirade of abuse, right?
What, Bail Organa?
Bail Organa. I mean, he yielded the floor. I mean, he set her up. Must have known. They were like, well, you knew what she was going to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe he gets expelled. Maybe he has to escape. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess at some point he has to become.
Well, he said he's got to stay, right?
He did say that, but we know he doesn't. Yeah. So,
but that's a year later. Remember, we've got another year yet until the Death Star.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so he's hanging around Coruscant for a while.
And I don't know how often they have elections, but they had elections a year before that. So he's probably got his seat sewn up for a while.
True. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and he's been betrayed because his security detail or whatever it is that he put together for Mon Mothma is compromised.
Yeah.
More betrayal.
Yeah. But it's weird as well, like when Luthen has that discussion with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
And sort of Mon Mothma's reaction is kind of like, well, you're telling me I can't trust them. Why should I trust you now? Like,
well, yeah, exactly.
How do I know that you're not compromised?
Yeah. Yeah. And it went back to talking about Tay, didn't they? And, as soon as he became a problem, he disappeared.
Yeah.
She thinks, well, what's to say the same isn't going to happen to me?
Yeah. Quite. I mean, so if she hadn't worked that out before, then she's not quite as smart as we think. But he like, I don't know. He was, I don't know. It's a different thing, isn't it? Like he was a clear liability because he was,
he was sort of cracking a bit.
He was getting drunk every night and had a loose tongue.
Yeah.
Whereas she's not that.
She did get drunk and dance like a weirdo.
Well, but. I don't know if we're going to see her husband again. Perrin.
Yeah, he seems to have faded into the background. I mean, he wasn't that important in my view anyway. He
wasn't that important, but you feel like he'd be prime candidate for torture if he's still on Coruscant.
But he doesn't really know anything though, does he?
They don't know that. Would you take that?
Well, no, but I mean, if
you were ISB and you were going around and go, right, who's the first people we should talk to? You should talk to her husband. He probably doesn't know anything.
No, yeah, okay, they will do it, but there won't be any point showing us because it's not going to go anywhere, is it?
Although the driver might be able to tell him.
Well, he won't now.
Well, no, he can't. Actually, he is no longer with us.
He is deceased. He has shed his mortal coil.
Absolutely. Right, looking at the time, I'm just thinking, we probably need to talk. I just want to mention, because we've not actually mentioned it by name yet, Tony Gilroy. So Tony Gilroy is the creator of this series. And I'm sure he'll have had input from other people and work collaboratively with lots of other people, whatever else. But I just want to say, like, I think there's, and I know we've said this before, there seems to be this almost like cult-like status of Dave Filoni these days.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is undeserved, because
No, not at all.
he's produced some great stuff. But as we've said on numerous occasions, you can broadly split things over Disney's reign of Star Wars into two camps, right? If it's good, Dave Filoni gets the credit. If it's bad, Kathleen Kennedy gets abused, basically.
Yeah.
And we've done to death the clear and obvious reasons why that might be.
Yeah.
Whereas Rogue One, I think, kind of sits in its own little thing. And I'm sure Dave Filoni's had some input, but Tony Gilroy has created most of this himself. And I think he deserves all the credit possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how this did award-wise for the first series, but the way it's going at the moment, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact it's Star Wars, and Star Wars may not do quite so well with certain awards because of a bit of snobbery, like, this should be cleaning up.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, television awards,
Golden Globes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, acting,
Emmys.
I mean, it's sometimes I even think, that CGI is slightly ropey, but then I don't care because it's not front and center of what this is at all.
No.
It's more of a spy thriller than it is a science fiction.
Yeah. I do wonder as well on the subject of that, though. I do wonder as well whether or not there's a huge amount of audience who are missing out on this because it is Star Wars. Who just won't watch it because it's Star Wars. Whereas,
for sure. Yeah.
I think it's got crossover appeal massively. Like it's I mean, this is good as I started watching Slow Horses recently. Oh yeah. Which is fantastic. If you've not seen it. But
no, I heard that was good though.
I think this is every bit as good. Like, obviously, but it's science fiction, so it kind of gives it a different spin.
Yeah. Some people are just going to swerve it no matter what. Never mind Star Wars, just science fiction is going to turn people off it, and they are missing out on a treat. Let's be honest.
It's outstanding. It's so good. So, Tony Gilroy, applause to you. I know we've got 3 episodes left, and I know you mentioned that we're only 75% of the way through, but well
done, sir.
It would have to flop massively to
tarnish
what's already been done. Yeah, quite. Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier. Like, it was because I was thinking, well, so many of the series that over the last sort of decade or two that we've loved have kind of gone out with a bit of a whimper.
Yeah,
like Game of Thrones, namely.
Oh yeah, big one.
To a lesser extent, but still, I'd say maybe Sopranos. Whisper that quietly.
Yeah, I'd see where you're coming from.
You don't have to agree. I don't think the whole of the last series wasn't that bad. It was just more the
actual ending.
The last scene.
Yeah.
That was a bit like,
it's unsatisfying, isn't it? Yeah, you do feel robbed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whereas, actually, to put that in that bracket is probably a bit unfair. But I think it benefits enormously from the fact that there is that time restriction. They can't. It can't go on forever. It has to end.
Yeah.
But that can also bring its own pressures of like, oh shit, how are we going to fit everything in?
Yeah.
And just throwing loads and loads of shit in that doesn't need to be there because they're like, oh, we've got all this stuff and we need to fit it in. Whereas, as you said earlier, and we've mentioned numerous times, they've up to this point at least avoided the temptation to do that and have got the balance spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's normally around this time where we're saying things like, oh, they've got a lot of loose ends to tie up, how they're going to do it. And you could relate it to Revenge of the Sith where, that covers a lot of ground very quickly and some say bits of it felt slightly rushed and so on. But, this series has, had such a luxury in terms of its run time. The episode's anything from 40 minutes to over an hour.
Yeah.
It just has all the room it needs to breathe. And I would be very surprised if it dropped the ball next week. It's not to say it couldn't happen. They could have a shocker. But I would put money on them not doing that. Yeah. We may not get a fantastic, great ending. And in a way, we know what the ending is going to be. We know where everything's leading. It's just, how does it get there? It's just the journey, isn't it?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there has to be. I mean, the clear thing there has to be the revelation about the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
Because
at what point?
Although actually, I don't know. I don't know, because if I think about the opening scene of Rogue One, where he meets what's the actor called, Danny something, Dyer. No, not Danny Dyer, but he meets a guy in an alleyway.
Yeah,
he tells Cassian in that scene they're building a weapon.
Right,
yeah. So I wonder if
but some people must know ahead of time.
I wonder if Mads Mikkelsen might turn up.
Could do.
Galen. I wonder if Galen Erso would be there.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fathom that this construction project is happening somewhere and no one's realised it.
It's been built by bots, isn't it?
Well, is it?
Someone's got to build the bots, though. Someone's got to program the bots.
Well, yeah. I thought it was built by those weird insects from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Whatever they're called.
Buzz droids.
My
cockpit's foggy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those things. No, the insects. They're from the...
Stay still, master.
Those horrible things.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, I can't remember. They got names. Of course they got names. Geonosians.
Okay.
Yeah, those dudes. That was pretty good, actually.
Yes. So,
but I mean, the Death Star's got to figure into it, hasn't it? We got to see something. We've got to throw us a little bone.
That's the interesting for me at this point. We know it's leading to the discovery of the Death Star.
Yeah.
And the completion of the Death Star.
Yes.
And the desire to steal the plans. But what else is there? What else is there to tie up? I mean, Mon Mothma's gone. We know where she is. She's going to be all right. Safe and having.
Yeah. Ensconced.
Yeah. They've got to get... Bail Organa's got to get there. I guess it's kind of... The next 3 episodes are going to see basically how do the characters we know that aren't still with us in Rogue One, how do they meet their demise?
I guess that's the big question now, isn't it? I mean, it's weird. We're almost in a reverse situation where you think, well, what the hell is there left to say, rather than, oh my god, they got tons to tie up. It's like, well, actually, what is there left? Is
Dedra? I want to know what happens to Dedra. I feel like she might. She might be. It might be a situation that we've spoken about in the past where she goes and she buys a little small holding and becomes a nerf herder.
I'd like that for her. I think
she's learned
up in the Imperial
She's learned how to
crash.
cry. She's finally got in touch with her emotions.
Yeah, she's gone for a messy breakup.
Yeah,
she needs a bit of me time, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Bit of Dedra time.
And I think as well that we'll see maybe not the collapse of, but certainly the ISB will be consumed by the military, by the Navy.
Yeah, well, they're meant to be ships, aren't they? So it's it's meant to be the Navy.
Yeah,
the Imperial Navy.
Exactly. They become the big boys.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll see. Well, will they begin the fracking of Gorman in earnest? It'll just be 3 hours of extracting minerals from the ground
until Gorman is uninhabitable. And collapses.
Because the whole jail thing that they're in Series 1 is them building parts for the Death Star, isn't it?
Yes.
Did they show us the Death Star right at the end as well?
Yes, they did.
So it's not.
They were building the bits to go in the dish, weren't they?
Yeah, that's it. So we've already kind of had that not revelation, but reveal, I guess, of this is the Death Star. So will they shoehorn it in again? I mean, are we expecting that?
Well, a completed Death Star, yeah.
Yeah, we see it all. Maybe see it doing a bit more testing.
I don't know, operational.
Maybe we could see. I mean, we didn't see Krennic in any of these 3 episodes, did we?
No.
He hasn't popped up anywhere. I don't know if we're likely to see Grand Moff Tarkin popping up.
Possibly.
I mean, they could throw anyone in, couldn't they? We could see Leia, Luke, Vader, Obi-Wan, Han Solo. They're all there. No. It's all in their timeline.
I tell you what is interesting. It's thinking back to episode 4 and like the whole medal ceremony for Luke and Han and Chewie, although Chewie doesn't get a medal, as like the heroes of the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
And then
the Johnny-come-latelys.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Luthen, who is just going to basically disappear into dust. He's essentially, without Luthen, you've got no rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the overall theme of the series. It's the unsung heroes, isn't it?
Yeah, quite.
It's that story of
the changing of the narrative of how Mon Mothma gets to Yavin, where basically we know the person who's rescued her, we know who's helped her.
Yeah, exactly.
Cassian with a little bit of help from Erskine, and then their names never appear in the history books.
No, but we know of their great deeds.
Gold Squadron,
yeah, and there's a few familiar faces, isn't there? Don Darren, is it his name? Something like that. He pops up a few times.
The head teacher from Sex Education.
Oh, is that who that is? I don't know. I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's good. Funny series. I wonder if we might see Wedge.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Oh, can you imagine if his mate turns out to be Wedge?
Well, the Scottish guy.
Yeah.
Well, he is. Yeah.
Wedge is Scottish.
He is Scottish. Yeah.
He hasn't got a Scottish accent in.
No, when he just.
And he's got a full head of hair. That guy's.
He gets a glow up at some point.
Not to draw unfair comparisons, but that guy's got a head of hair more common to someone I see right now.
What are you talking about?
I thought you were alone. But no,
I don't know what you're referring to.
Either way.
Are you saying I could be Wedge? That's what I take from that.
You could be Wedge. You could be Wedge. Is it Wedge Antilles or
Wedge Antilles? Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
We'll see. I don't know if that guy's probably got a credit.
I'm sure he's got a real name. That would easily put it to bed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
But it's where's that going? That'd be interesting to know. And in fact, what happens to her as well? What's her face with a gun? I've forgotten all these characters' names already. That's the point. They're disposable.
Yes. Oh, you're talking about another crossover actor or actress from Game of Thrones, aren't you? Yes, her cousin.
There's loads of Star Wars people who are in Game of Thrones and vice versa as well. It's a lot of them.
Yes,
they're all like filmed next door to each other or something, or same casting agent.
Possibly, or just all shot in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good old Blighty.
But yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of exciting stuff possibly to go. Well, the thing that excites me most about the next 3 episodes is I don't really know what it's going to contain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like some arcs are now complete. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see some people. We know that for sure. Yeah. Other people are sort of roughly where we expect them to be by episode 4 or by Rogue One.
Yeah.
So it's just, assume we've got roughly 3 hours of this series left, because the last episode might be an hour and a half, it might be shorter or longer or whatever. Yeah, what is it going to be?
Yeah, I wonder if they might. Obviously Bix. I wonder if Bix still plays a part, because I wonder if she might get.
I don't know. I kind of feel like we're done with her now.
Well, but whether she gets picked up again. And I feel
then they'd have to get rid of her again.
Yeah, maybe she's done. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that would. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be odd after the big emotional farewell and him running after.
Because there's also the possibility that someone close to Mon Mothma gets used as bait to lure her out of a little hidey hole.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, and she's still not quite the character we see in Rogue One. I don't think that sort of stoic, confident.
She's still living somewhere where she can get her hands on hair product as well.
Yes.
Rogue One, she's gone, hang on, I can't get hair product anymore. I'm just going to have to go for a nice little sort of bobby side parting thing.
Yeah. I think maybe that's how they discover that's where the rebel base is. They track down her shipments of like L'Oreal or whatever.
Hang on, she's getting a Prime subscription delivered.
Yes, right, yeah. Her Maybelline subscription is getting delivered to Yavin every fortnight.
Why didn't we think before?
Suspicious. Don't follow the money. Follow the Amazon subscriptions.
All we had to do was ask Jeff. He'd have told us.
Exactly. you know, they don't need the secret police. We could do that job. We track them down.
Okay. Right. Anyway, with a lot of excitement, but some slightly heavy heart, I am looking forward to next week. And
I am.
Interestingly enough, well, maybe of interest to you, it may not. Steph and I won't be recording mid of next week, so we might be reviewing that the week after, because we've got trips planned.
We have.
For places unknown. Well, that's not true.
No.
Our lives aren't that exciting.
Very much.
We're very certain about where we're going. So, anyway, right. Stefan, thoughts turn to Last Chance Cinema Club.
They do, don't they?
They do.
They certainly do.
I'm hoping that you've got something to say about it.
Well, maybe I have.
Maybe I have.
Maybe I have.
Who knows?
Maybe I don't want to play my hand too soon. But no, I have. I definitely have. So, what's coming off of Prime in the next week or so? Not too much stuff, thankfully, but a couple I think you'll be sad about.
Mm-hmm.
The Departed is coming off.
Oh, it's departing.
Departed is departing. Yeah, very, very good film.
Very good.
I do like a bit of that. I really owe that another watch, actually.
She felt funny.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's a Departed
That's a quote from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that, I think. I mean, you can quote a line from any film ever made, so it doesn't surprise me.
Not quite true.
But can you quote from this film, The Dark Knight?
I've never seen it.
No, I didn't think you had.
It. Why so serious?
It's one of those camp Batman films, isn't it?
Camp.
Some crappy director.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I quite like it. I mean, it's not. It's not a 9.8, but I like it.
No, it's not.
It's, no. Okay. So at the moment, I'm choosing The Departed and The Dark Knight. Oh, good God! What we got? Right. What's next?
Punisher.
Move along.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Is that Marvel? Is it Marvel or DC? That
Punisher is Marvel.
Not seen it. I don't think.
No, I haven't seen it. It's meant to be all right, though.
Is it one of the Marvel ones that's like post?
No, I think it's maybe a Sony era.
Ah, right, okay.
One, like an old Spider-Man or something.
Right, like a Daredevil or
I think so.
Elektra or
those kind of guys. Yeah, the Fox or whatever it is.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right, maybe not that one. A change of pace, but a very good film, very funny film. Step Brothers.
Oh,
very fond of that one.
We're gonna have so much room for so many activities.
Yeah. It's just a very funny, very quotable film. And there's a smattering of others, but they're not.
Why have you got Randy Jackson's autograph on a? Why have you got Randy Jackson's autograph on a samurai sword? Well, I was walking down the street, and all I had was this sword, and you're not going to not get his autograph. So,
there you go.
Yeah, that is a good film.
I'm going to cough. Excuse me.
Rah!
That was a
I remember when I had my first beer.
He rubs his balls all over his drum kit. Brilliant.
My nutsack is on your drum kit.
That is a hilarious film. So what's your pick of those?
Oh wow, it's a hard choice. Depending on my mood, really.
Yeah.
If I'm in a laughing mood, clearly Step Brothers. I love, as my quotability suggests. I've seen it a few times. I quite like it. But I also love The Dark Knight, and I very much like The Departed. I'd probably actually, out of those three, purely because it's the one I haven't watched repeatedly for a very long time, I'd probably choose The Departed.
Yeah. If I was going to watch one of those before they came off, it'd be that one, because I haven't seen it for a very long time.
I would say any of those three would be a couple of hours well spent.
Yeah, strong selection. So sad week for Last Chance Cinema Club in that respect. But
yes.
Get stuck into those while you still can. You've got a week or so for most of those. So
quite.
Get out there and get streaming.
Oh, absolutely. So when we return in a fortnight, we'll be discussing the finale.
We will.
The final 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. It'd be nice that we have a bit of extra time to actually digest that, I think.
Yeah, will be. Ruminate.
Ruminate, and perhaps we could do a 2-hour long extended edition.
We could we?
Talk about the series as a whole.
Yeah, we could do the 3 episodes, then we could do the episode.
I'm not sure 2 hours is enough.
2 days.
Yeah, quite. So, but what it will also mean is the week after that, we'll be back to our usual Second Chance Cinema Club. And I believe it's your turn to pick, Stefan.
Yeah. This is my 2-week.
Well, your turn to offer up to
my turn to
2 things.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with that. And until then, I wish everyone a glorious couple of weeks. I hope you're enjoying Andor as much as we are. If you haven't seen it yet, and all you've done is listen to us talk about it, well done you.
Yes.
You should go and watch it. It's amazing.
Definitely. Check it out. Last thing I want to say, because I'll probably call the episode this, is tragic broth was a phrase that was used in one of these episodes.
Tragic
in the last episode.
At what point was that?
There's when we first get to the Senate, before Mon Mothma does her speech, and the guy's doing his little kind of propaganda spiel.
Oh, is this when the other senators are like, "Oh, we've lost a citizen"? Oh,
yeah. What the main guy? I don't know where he's like the clerk or whatever.
The Oath Keeper.
Well, they did. The subtitles didn't say Oathkeeper. They called him something else. But yeah, basically that guy.
Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House. Yeah, he had some weird random line where he said something like, "And this tragic broth that we've had to drink has been brewing for weeks," or something like that.
Was that the little like cat guy?
Yeah, that dude. Yeah. So I just thought tragic broth taken out of context is a fairly hilarious phrase.
Broth. Make sure you put other things in the description that make it clear what we're talking about.
No, just tragic broth.
Some of those people just scrolling past it thinking, oh, it could be really good Andor content, but clearly not. It's just about a failed recipe.
Yeah. Tragic broth, like sad soup. Something like that.
Sad soup. Well, like a thick
so
stew.
That's it.
Right. Anyway,
that's my last word on the topic.
Waffle about
not waffles, broth.
Warm winter thingies.
Consomme, not consomme.
Consomme?
Is it consomme? Yeah, it's called consomme. The thin Spanish soup.
You know I don't speak Spanish.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese?
Yeah. God, I'm not even mad.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, good night, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. See you in a fortnight.
Good night. Bye-bye.